India's Punjab state is drowning, and it's the worst flooding disaster the region has seen in nearly 4 decades. At least 30 people are dead, over 1,400 villages are completely submerged, and more than 354,000 residents are facing a humanitarian crisis of unprecedented scale. This isn't just another monsoon story. This is a catastrophe that's threatening India's food security and exposing millions to danger.
Now in India, Punjab is facing its worst flooding in nearly 4 decades, the heaviest since 1988. The floods have claimed 37 lives, have affected more than 3.5 lakh people. All 23 districts have been affected, with officials confirming that over 1,655 villages are underwater as rivers like Satluj, Beas and Ravi continue to overflow. Continued rainfall within Punjab has worsened the situation. More than 1.48 lakh hectares of standing crops have been destroyed, dealing a heavy blow to farmers who've also reported the loss of livestock. The damage isn't limited to fields. Hundreds of homes have either been severely damaged or completely washed away. In several areas, farmlands have turned into massive water bodies, in some places as deep as 8 to 10 feet, forcing residents to depend on boats to get around. The worst affected districts include Gurdaspur, Pathankot, Amritsar, among others. While the administration has set up relief camps, many villagers continue to stay on rooftops or raised platforms near their homes to remain close to their livestock and their property. Punjab's Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann visited flood-hit areas in Firozpur and said the government has launched a special loss assessment survey and will compensate affected families. Union Agriculture Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan is set to visit the flood-hit areas and interact with the affected farmers today. He will also review the extent of crop damage with state officials and chalk out measures to extend assistance to the farmers.
The scale of devastation becomes clear when you understand that all 23 districts of Punjab have been declared flood-hit zones. Rivers have swollen beyond danger levels, with the Sutlej, Beas, and Ravi transforming from lifelines into death traps. Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann has made a desperate plea to the nation, confirming these are the worst floods Punjab has experienced since 1988, a disaster that killed over 1,400 people across northern India.
56,000 lakh people have been displaced and 20 lives have been lost. Now, Punjab is facing one of its worst flood disasters in decades, triggered by heavy rainfall in 12 districts, including Pathankot, Gurdaspur, Fazilka, Kapurthala, Taran, Firozpur, Hoshiarpur and Amritsar. Now, these areas have been severely affected and relief and rescue operations are ongoing at full scale, led by the NDRF, Army, BSF and the Punjab Police, along with local authorities, with thousands evacuated and housed in relief camps. Now, all colleges and schools in Punjab have been shut amid incessant rains and floods in the state. Acres of agricultural land have been damaged. Now, take a look at the special report by my colleague Gurpreet, who's tracking the story from the...
The historical parallel is chilling, as that catastrophe claimed 535 lives in Punjab alone. But here's what makes this crisis particularly terrifying. Punjab isn't just any Indian state, it's the country's odd basket. This region produces the wheat and rice that feeds hundreds of millions of people across India and beyond. Now, massive agricultural lands totaling 148,000 hectares are completely underwater. In villages like those near Sultanpur Lodi, 3,500 acres of crops have been completely destroyed. A quarter of Punjab's 30 million people depend on agriculture, and they're watching their entire way of life disappear beneath the floodwaters, with some areas reporting water depths of up to 10 feet in agricultural fields, and rural livelihoods shattered across the region.
सर ये समस्या तकरीबन 13-14 तरीक तो इस तरह ही है जी पानी ਦਾ ਪੱਧਰ ਦਿਨੋਂ ਦਿਨ ਵਧ ਰਿਹਾ ਜੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਨੀ ਕੁ ਸਮੱਸਿਆ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਇੱਥੇ ਦੂਰ ਦਹਾਡੇ ਤੱਕ ਤਾਂ काफ़ी ज़्यादा राशन नहीं पहुंच रहा जी।
3500 एकड़ के करीब जो फसल है बिल्कुल खराब हो गई।
हाँ जी सर बिल्कुल खराब हो गई है जी 23 ਵਿੱਚ भी इतों मतलब घट सी नुकसान होया पर इस बार तो सारियां हद्दां पार कर गया जी बहुत तगड़ा नुकसान होया।
सारा पानी ब्यास नदी से ही आ रहा है ब्यास नदी से
सारा पानी ब्यास ही मारा जी इन्हों ये लोग बहुत ज़्यादा नुकसान चल रहे हैं जी हर साल दी साल इन्हों का ना तो कणक हुई है जी पिछले साल रेता मिट्टी ने दबती जे इस बार झोना होया वो भी दबया गया जी सर।
कितने गांव हो सकते हैं 16 के करीब कह रहे हैं गांव है यहाँ पे
16 तो ही वादा जी डेरे पाए नहीं आप जे डेरे पा लीए तो काफ़ी ज़्यादा आबादी है जी।
कितने के लोग हो सकते हैं यहाँ पे
तकरीबन 16 नाल मतलब ਇੱਥੇ ਆਲੀ ਆ ਆਪਣਾ ਸੋਰੀ ਆਲੀ कहता ਬਾਊਪੁਰ ਜੀ ਪਿੰਡ ਆ ਜੀ ਉੱਥੇ 2-250 ਮਤਲਬ ਬੋਰਡ ਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਜੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਖੁਦ ਮੈਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਸਰਵੇ ਵੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਵੀ ਰਿਹਾ ਵਾਂ ਪਰ ਕਾਫੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਘਰ ਆ ਜੀ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਤੱਕ ਆਪਣਾ ਸਮਾਨ ਤੱਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਰਿਹਾ ਜੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਬੇੜੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ
The human cost is mounting by the hour. Some 20,000 people have been evacuated from low-lying areas, with hundreds of relief camps hastily set up to provide basic shelter and essential supplies. But for many, help is coming. Too late. Families are stranded on rooftops, entire villages have been cut off from the outside world, and emergency services are struggling to reach those most in need. The meteorological forces behind this disaster are as complex as they are devastating. India's weather agency explains that repeated interactions between monsoon currents and westerly disturbances have created a perfect storm scenario. This isn't just affecting Punjab, and the same weather patterns have brought unusually heavy rainfall to several other parts of northern India, creating a regional crisis that spans multiple states. 3 major rivers, the Submerge, Beas, and Ravi, have become death traps, rising to dangerous levels and putting hundreds of low-lying areas at immediate risk. The breaking of the Dusi Dam, also known as Dusri Band, has been identified as a critical flashpoint that triggered flooding across Amritsar and Gurdaspur districts. Many reservoirs are nearing full capacity, creating a domino effect that threatens even more communities downstream.
How the flood has been started in the state of Punjab. Specifically, this is which we are showing. This is the embankment of Ravi River, and this Dussi Band, which is called Dussi Band, which is supposed to stop the river of Ravi River water to flow inside these villages. But we have seen this broken part of this Dussi Band. We have seen the moment it has been broken, and we have seen not only it has been damaged from this area, we have seen some portion of this Dusri Band has already been washed away, and from here the problem has started, and the whole district, whether it's the district Amritsar or district Gurdaspur, it has started flooding, and the first water has come to these villages. These are the worst affected villages from where we
Local residents living along the Sutlej riverbanks are keeping vigil throughout the night, desperately trying to protect their homes and families. One residing, Ent Jasveer Singh from Sabra village, told BBC Punjabi about the terrifying reality they're facing. The water is high, the dam is seeping, wherever it breaks, we fix it with sacks. This is the desperate reality for thousands of families, ordinary people trying to hold back nature's fury with nothing but sandbags and determination.
कितनी मुश्किलें आप फेस कर रहे हो पिछले काफी दिनों से?
बहुत ज़्यादा मुश्किलें 4-4 फुट साढ़े घरां च पानी आ सिर्फ कोई साडा नहीं सरकार ने साथ दिता सिर्फ आ बाबियां लो ही घर सेवा का काम चलता ते साडा गुजारा होण डया बहुत मंदा हाल है जी।
तो पूरा घर के जितने भी जी है सारे बाहर चले गए या घर पे कुछ लोग रह रहे हैं?
कुछ है, घर छोड़ के कहाँ जाएगा, अंदर वाले कमरे में पानी नहीं है, बाकी सारा घर में 4-4 फुट पानी है।
यानी लोग छतों पे रात को रह रहे हैं,
रात गुजारते हैं।
हाँ जी। और पूरे कितने के गांव हैं इस पूरे एरिया में अगर बात करें? पूरे
16 गांव है इस अंदर टापू में,
जो 16 गांव है। हमारे साथ कुछ और भी लोग हैं, तो आप भी अभी आ रहे हो बोट के थ्रू यहाँ पे आ रहे हो, कौन सा गाँव है और कितनी की मुश्किलें आप फेस कर रहे हो?
बहुत जी बोट पर ही आए हैं, बहुत पानी घर में भरा है, छतों पे पर रह रहे हैं, बहुत मुश्किल।
In Punjab's major city of Ludhiana and areas like Sultanpur Lodi, the situation has become catastrophic. Residents describe water levels reaching 4 to 6 feet inside their homes, forcing families to take shelter on rooftops. Some have evacuated while others remain trapped, unable to leave their livestock and belongings behind. The scenes are apocalyptic. Streets transformed into rivers.
डिस्टेंस यहाँ पे
रिमोट में इसमें दिख जाता है, इसमें कैमरा लगा हुआ है तो इसमें दिख जाता है, तो जहाँ तक दिखता है उसे हम भेज देते हैं। तो आप देख पा रहे हैं कि वहाँ लोग जो छत के ऊपर हैं, तो उसको जब हम वहाँ ले जाएंगे तो हुक निकाल कर खाना निकाल लेंगे, पार्सल में जो दवाइयाँ जो इसमें खाना फूड है वो निकाल लेंगे, फिर वापस ले आएंगे।
देखिए ये ब्यास नदी है मेरे ठीक पीछे, और ये भानु का पुल था जो कि लोहे का। अब आप देखिए कि आधा पुल ब्यास नदी ने काट दिया है। जहां पे एक सड़क होती थी वहां पर ब्यास नदी इस वक्त बह रही है और लगातार जो है वो इस तरीके के घरों को भी खतरा हो गया है। लगातार ब्यास नदी का जो पानी है वो आप देखिए कि किस तरीके से खतरनाक तरीके से बह रहा है। दूसरी ओर अगर मैं आपको दिखाऊं तो ब्यास नदी के आसपास के जो स्ट्रक्चर हैं उनको बहुत ज़्यादा नुकसान यहाँ पर हुआ है। ये आप देख सकते हैं कि ये यहाँ पर पूरा सूखा हुआ था, लेकिन कल रात से जो भारी बारिश हुई है उसके वजह से अब आप देखिए कि तमाम सारे जगहों पर अब पानी भर गया है और बहुत सारे जो यहाँ कॉटेज उस तरीके से बने हुए थे, ये कॉटेज यहाँ पर बने हुए थे, पूरा ब्यास नदी ने इसको उड़ा कर रख दिया है, साफ कर दिया है। ये सबसे बड़ी तबाही है मनाली, क्योंकि कुल्लू और मनाली हजारों देशी विदेशी पर्यटकों के लिए जाना जाता है। बहुत मनपसंद इलाका ये हुआ करता था। यहाँ से मनाली से लोग जो है वो
Cars submerged and businesses destroyed. The economic impact will be felt for years to come, but right now, the focus is simply on saving lives. The response effort is massive, but may not be enough. Multiple disaster response teams from the National Disaster Response Force and State Disaster Response Force are working alongside the Indian Army, Air Force, and Navy. In Sultanpur Lodi alone, 15 SDRF members with 3 boats and 40 Army personnel with 2 additional boats have been conducting round-the-clock operations since August 11th. Some 35 helicopters and more than 100 boats have been pressed into service across the state, creating an aerial and aquatic lifeline for stranded communities in what has become one of the largest rescue operations in recent Indian history.
In my subdivision, Sultanpur Lodi, actually there are 8 villages that are totally submerged. And in this particular place where we are heading now, there are totally 4 villages and 275 families who are stranded here. The children and the ladies, they have been moved out. They have been to their relatives and to relief center also. We have been carrying out rescue and relief operations since 11th of August. It's almost 22nd day of floods. We have got 15 members of SDRF and 3 boats of SDRF along with the 40 personnel of Army and 2 boats of Army who have been carrying out these operations tirelessly.
Chief Minister Maan took to a boat himself on Tuesday to tour the flood-hit Firozapur district, witnessing firsthand the grim situation facing his state. He's announced a special loss assessment survey with compensation for affected families and is seeking emergency funds from the federal government to deal with the crisis. But time is running out for many communities still trapped by rising waters. What makes this disaster even more tragic is its cross-border impact. Just across the international boundary, Pakistan's Punjab province is facing similar devastation, with some 2 million people affected by floods over the past few weeks. The shared geography means that when nature strikes, both nations suffer together, regardless of political boundaries. The current death toll of 30 people, while already heartbreaking, may be just the beginning. Historical context shows how deadly Punjab floods can become. The 1988 floods killed over 535 people in Punjab alone, while the 1993 disaster claimed more than 300 lives and 6,200 cattle across multiple districts including Amritsar, Gurdaspur, Ludhiana, and Patiala. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has spoken directly with Chief Minister Maan, assuring full federal support for the relief efforts. Union Agriculture Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has scheduled visits to interact with affected farmers and review crop damage. But the scale of this disaster requires more than government promises. It needs immediate, coordinated action across multiple levels of administration and society. The agricultural implications cannot be overstated. Punjab produces a significant portion of India's food grains, particularly wheat and rice that form the backbone of the country's food security system. With 148,000 hectares of agricultural land submerged, this disaster will have ripple effects on food prices and availability across India and potentially beyond. The timing couldn't be worse, as this is a crucial growing season for many crops. For the families directly affected, the statistics tell only part of the story. Behind each number is a human tragedy, homes lost, livelihoods destroyed, communities scattered, and futures uncertain. Relief camps are providing basic necessities, with organizations like Sant Baba Balveer Singh Sichawal's group distributing food to affected areas, but the psychological trauma of losing everything will take much longer to heal. The meteorological patterns that created this disaster are becoming increasingly common due to climate change. Extreme weather events like this are no longer anomalies. They're becoming the new normal across South Asia. Punjab's current crisis is a stark reminder that climate adaptation and disaster preparedness must become national priorities, not just policy afterthoughts. Rescue operations continue around the clock, with teams using everything from helicopters to boats to reach stranded families. But as water levels remain dangerously high and more rain is forecast, the situation remains critical. Every hour counts as emergency services race to evacuate people from areas still at risk. The international community is watching closely, not just because of the human tragedy unfolding, but because Punjab's agricultural output affects global food markets. When India's breadbasket floods, the world feels the impact through commodity prices and supply chains. As Punjab struggles with this unprecedented natural disaster, the resilience of its people is being tested like never before. Communities that have weathered countless challenges throughout history are once again showing remarkable courage in the face of overwhelming odds. Neighbors are helping neighbors, strangers are rescuing strangers, and the human spirit is proving stronger than the floodwaters. The road to recovery will be long and difficult. Rebuilding homes, restoring farmland, and reviving local economies will take months or even years. But right now, the immediate priority is clear: saving lives and providing emergency relief to those who need it most. This disaster serves as a sobering reminder of nature's power and humanity's vulnerability. As climate change continues to intensify weather patterns across the globe, events like Punjab's devastating floods may become increasingly common. The question isn't whether such disasters will happen again, but how well prepared we'll be when they do. For now, Punjab fights for survival against the worst floods in a generation. The courage and determination of its people, combined with national and international support, offer hope that this crisis too shall pass. But the scars will remain long after the waters recede, serving as a permanent reminder of nature's awesome power and the urgent need for better disaster preparedness in our changing world.